my dear viewers, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If it's your first time to visit my channel, do not forget to click like and hit subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you will be notified every time I'm going to upload relevant videos about language for you. It's a new edition of Learn with Ryle, and for today's video, we're going to discuss a very important topic in English, and that is figure of speech. Figure of speech is a way of saying things in its non-literal sense. Poets, or even the novelists, use figures of speech in their writing to steer the emotions of the readers. More importantly, poets use figures of speech to help the readers create images in their minds. Images that symbolically represent the message or the meaning of the poem. There are many kinds of figures of speech, and the following are the most common ones. First, we have simile. Second one, we have metaphor. The third one, we have hyperbole. The fourth one, we have personification. And lastly, we have synecdoche. What is simile? Simile, it is an indirect comparison of two different things using the words like or as. For example, you are as brave as a lion. Now, in order for you to know that the example is simile, you need to identify first the two different things that being compared in the sentence. And that is, say it again, that is you, which is the subject of the sentence, and lion, meaning to say your braveness and the braveness of a lion is the same. And that is an example of simile. And take note, there is the word as in the sentence that qualified as an example of a simile. Another example. Last night, I slept like a log. Now, what are the two different things that being compared in the example given? I and the log, meaning to say, I myself slept like a log last night. So, the indicator here is the word like. And make it sure that there are two different things that you compared in the example. Take note. In order for you to say that it is an example of simile, make it sure that you are going to identify first the two different things that being compared in the example sentence. Just like this one. I like to eat ice cream. Now, do you think this is a good example of a simile? No, it's not. It is because it doesn't mean that the sentence has like, it is automatically an example of simile. Because there are no two different things that being compared in the example, so that is why it is not simile. Now, what is a metaphor? Metaphor, it is a direct comparison of two different things without using the words like or as. If simile is indirect comparison and use the word like or as, metaphor, it's not. Because metaphor, it is a direct comparison without using the words like or as anymore. For example, my late grandmother is my guardian angel. Now, do you see any words like or as? None, right? Now, what are the two different things that being compared for this example? Grandmother, or my late grandmother, and an angel. That is, my grandmother or my late grandmother is like an angel, but without using the words like or as anymore. Now, it is a direct comparison. Another example. You are the sunshine of my life. You are the sunshine, my only sunshine. You are the sunshine of my life. Now, what are the two different things that being compared for this example? You and the sunshine. That you is being compared to a sunshine, that you give life or you give light to someone else's life or the darkness of their life. So you and sunshine without the use like or us anymore, and that is a metaphor, a direct comparison. When we say hyperbole, it is an expression of exaggeration and an overstatement. Sometimes it is often used to emphasize a meaning through humor or a logical analogy. For example, I had thousands of homework. Now, do you think that's possible? You're right. No, it's not, because sometimes a teacher can only give one or two homeworks or activities to be answered at home, and it is very impossible to answer only one night. So that means that when this sentence says that I had thousands of homework, that means that I have a lot of things to be done. So that's it. That's an example of hyperbole. That is a good way of saying or making your or sentence more creative and excellent. Another example. I am so hungry that I could swallow the whole elephant. Now, do you think I could swallow the whole elephant? No, it's not, because my mouth is only small. So that is why when we heard that kind of sentence, or when we read that kind of sentence, I'm so hungry that I could swallow the whole elephant, meaning to say that I am very, very, very hungry. That maybe that I didn't take my breakfast, I didn't take my lunch, or I didn't take my dinner, that I'm very hungry right now. So that's an example of hyperbole, making your sentence more creative to emphasize the deep meaning of your idea. When we say personification, it is a kind of figures of speech that gives human attributes or characteristics to inanimate objects. Or meaning to say, when we say personification, we give life. We give life to non-living things. For example, the shadow of the moon danced on the lake. Again, the shadow of the moon danced on the lake. Now, what is the word or the inanimate object that we give human attributes in a given sentence or example? Say it again. Very good. That is the shadow of the moon. The shadow of the moon. Meaning to say that humans or an animals can only dance. So that is why we give human quality or human attribute to the shadow of the moon that can dance. And the shadow of the moon is now dancing on the lake. So that's it. That's under personification. It is because we give human life, human quality, human attributes to an inanimate object. Another example. The wind whispered to me. Again, the wind whispered to me. Now, do you think, is it possible that a wind can whisper to anybody else? No, it's not, because it's a quality of a human that can only whisper to another human. So meaning to say, the wind, we give life to the wind, and the wind is our subject here in the sentence, that it's now whispering to me, or it's now having something to say to me. And that is a human quality or human characteristic. That means that this is a very good example of a personification. When we say simile, it is an expression that uses part of something to represent its whole. For example, if you heard the word wheels, that means car or a vehicle. So instead of saying that I have a car or I have a vehicle, we're going to say I have wheels. So meaning to say that as synecdoche because you are using the part or parts of something to represent its whole. From wheels to a car. Another example, boots. We will say that there are boots coming to my house. That means that there are soldiers coming into my house. Another example, hard hands. So our hands are just parts of our body. That means that workers or hard hands or workers. For example, when the captain of the ship calls all hands on deck, it's certainly no hands can be seen running across on a ship. Rather, the speaker is using a synecdoche, allowing a part, which are the hands, to represent its whole, which are a crew members of the ship. Another example, a boy is admitted to the hospital and the nurse says, "He's in good hands. My dear parents, he's in good hands." It doesn't literally mean that the boy is taken care by two hands. Instead, the boy is being taken care by doctors, nurses, assistants, and many more. That is a qualified example under synecdoche because we are using parts to represent its whole. Now, do you think it is relevant to discuss this topic or we're just wasting our time? Yes, you're right. It is imperative to discuss this topic because figures of speech enhance the author's or writer's creation. This is true of any genre and many forms of writing. The effective use of figures of speech brings to life what would have been mere words, phrases, or sentences. It is also believed that they help sow the seeds of imagination to stimulate the learner's creativity in the language. Keep learning, my dear viewers.